My family controls Solmar's biggest business empire. Every single one of them is a business genius. But I'm nothing but a slacker who just wants to coast through life. $1 million? Not even close. The company I just invested $10 million in is about to go bankrupt. And instead of getting angry, I laugh. Everyone thinks I've lost my mind. What they don't know is that I'm doing this on purpose. My father, Marcus Forrest, is getting weaker by the day. He has 4 sons. He told us each company would start with $10 million as capital. In 2 years, whichever company ends up with the highest market value will win 51% controlling stake in the Forrest Group and become the largest shareholder. But in less than a single year, my company's cash flow has nearly run dry. I sit back, legs crossed, staring blankly out the window. I'm just a slacker. I never had much of a competitive streak anyway. The rule Marcus said is simple. First place gets 51% of the shares, second place gets 20%, third gets 15%, and fourth gets 10%. The rest will go into a charity foundation. Based on the Forrest family's current valuation, even last place, with just 10% of the company, would be worth $600 million. $100 million? I couldn't spend that in a lifetime even if I tried. So why bother killing myself over it? I smile and pull out my phone. I post a message in the family group chat, more tech. Our current cash reserve is down to just $1 million. After tomorrow's payroll, we'll have only $300,000 left. That meets the threshold to file for bankruptcy. So I'm officially announcing I concede this competition. I'm taking 4th place. To my brothers, keep up the good work. I send both messages and break into a grin. I never liked running a company and I never liked managing people. My real passion is mountains and rivers, the beautiful landscapes of this world. Why should I bust my back working when my dad's already rich? Better to just relax. The moment my message hits the family group chat, chaos erupts. Derek, Silas, your company went bankrupt? Julian, nice one, bro. I'm about to double my valuation. Did I make all this money off your company's losses? Jason, Silas, I'll give you an 82 out of 100. I'll send you the rest as a little good luck gift. I won't send it all at once. Don't want you getting cocky. I scroll through my brother's messages, too lazy to respond. Just then, my phone rings. I pick it up. It's my mother, Grace. Hey, Mom. I raised you all these years, and this is what you turn out to be? Your brother Julian's about to double his money, and you're declaring bankruptcy? Mom, I'll explain later. The company's got some issues. I'll tell you once I'm officially bankrupt. I'll even sign you up for a senior ballet class so you can dance with handsome old men every day. Won't that be nice? I hang up with a click. Ding. Congratulations, player. You have obtained the fate die. The instructions are already etched into your mind. Please review them before use. Before I can even process it, an object appears on my desk, pitch black all over with red dots on every face. Looking closer, this die has a strange magnetic pull to it. Just as I'm about to pick it up for a closer look, my phone buzzes with a group chat notification. I check it. Well, would you look at that? Marcus Forrest has removed you from the group chat. I feel a pang of hurt. I'm not even fully bankrupt yet, and the old man's already couldn't wait to kick me out. I scroll back through the chat history. Wow, the old man's really lost it. The 10% stake I was promised for 4th place is gone. Now the prize is just an annual allowance of $10 million. Completely blindsided, I feel a flash of frustration. I check my phone. It's my mom again. Hey, Mom. Sweetheart, you're finished. Marcus is furious. He's sending people to take over your company right now. He's also freezing every credit card you have and locking down all your accounts. I told you to play it safe. Why do you have to be so reckless? Now you've got nothing left. Grace's voice is edged with worry. Don't I still get that $10 million a year allowance? That should cover me. Are you an idiot? That only kicks in after all 4 of you finish the competition. You've got less than a year left in the competition. That's still a whole year before you'd see a single cent. Grace sighs. Your father's given me an order too. He announced it in the family chat. Nobody's allowed to send you a single dime or help you in any way. Oh, Silas, you've really made your father angry this time. You'd better pack up and find a factory job. With that, Grace hangs up. A factory job? Yeah, right. There's no way I'm working a regular job. Not in this lifetime. Let him be angry. Everybody's got a few friends, right? I set my phone down and pick up the die on my desk. I close my eyes and pull up the instructions in my mind. Roll the fate die once, and you'll receive a piece of information about the future. Good or bad, that's for you to decide. Get a glimpse of the future? That means I could take off like a rocket. There's a saying, stand in the right wind and even a pig can fly. And if I've got insider knowledge ahead of time, making money would be almost too easy. With that thought, I pick up the fate die and toss it onto the desk. The die glows faintly and finally stops spinning after a full minute. I crane my neck to look. In 4 days, Meridia's stock market will trip a circuit breaker. This triggers a crash in crude oil futures, dropping to around $55. Short crude oil futures, the price will fall to negative 37. I stare at these 2 lines projected by the fate die, and then they quickly fade away. I sink into thought. But right now my company only has about $1 million left in the bank, and payroll is due any minute. What am I supposed to do? Borrow money. The first person I think of is Julian, since out of everyone in this family, I've always gotten along with him best. I dial his number. Silas, what made you call me? I need to borrow money. Silas, how much do you need? Hearing that, I smile. I knew my little brother would come through. Not much, just 5 million. I'll pay you back once the competition's over, and Dad gives me my allowance. Are you serious, 5 million? Silas, you think you're still the golden boy? You've already been kicked out of the house. Forget 5 million. If you asked me for 50,000 right now, I'd have to think twice about whether you could even pay it back. Tell you what, since we're still half-brothers, I'll send you 10,000. Call it a favor for old time's sake. I'm about to lose my temper when the call cuts off. A moment later, a WeChat notification pings. I open it. Sure enough, Julian sent me 10,000 along with a little smiling emoji. My face turns dark. Isn't this 10,000 basically an insult? But right now I've only got a few dozen dollars on me since I've never really been in the habit of saving. I have to accept it. Back in the day, a great general once endured humiliation before rising to power. Today, I take 10,000 and turn the tables in the end. I accept the transfer and send back a smiling emoji of my own. Thanks, Julian. Julian replies quickly. No need to thank me. That 10,000 definitely won't be enough. Just then, my phone rings. I pick it up. It's Crystal calling. Crystal is a print model and my girlfriend. Ever since we got together, though, she stopped working. I've been footing every bill. I wonder how she'll react once she finds out I'm essentially bankrupt. Hey babe, you promised to buy me a Gucci bag yesterday. I got a whole outfit today too. Crystal's voice drips with a teasing edge. Hearing that tone, I straighten up immediately. Even though we've been together a long time, I've never once gotten tired of her. Crystal always keeps things fresh, and it gives me a feeling like every night is our honeymoon. But my excitement fades fast as I remember. I'm not that golden boy anymore. Babe, can you come pick me up later? The company car's in use today. As for the bag, let's talk in a few days. Money's tight right now. I stumble through my words. The excitement in her voice is already gone. I can tell Crystal's a little annoyed. Fine, whatever. I won't even open the outfit then, some other time. With that, Crystal hangs up. I don't think much of it. Instead, I stand by the office's floor-to-ceiling window, gazing out over Cloud City and pack up my things. I walk out of the office. Downstairs, the white Mercedes I bought for Crystal sits parked confidently outside the front gate. Crystal stares at me in confusion as I carry a box of my belongings, clearly caught off guard. We'll talk at home. I pull open the door and slide into the back seat, closing my eyes to rest. Neither of us says a word the whole way. Once we're home, I drop the box on the floor and collapse onto the couch. What's going on with you? Crystal senses something is off. Today, I don't react at all to her outfit. Usually, if she wore a short skirt like this, I'd be all over her. But today I do nothing. Say nothing. I'm bankrupt, I say quietly, eyes still closed. What, you're joking, right? Crystal rushes over to my side, gripping my hands tightly. I'm serious. Crystal doesn't respond right away. First, she isn't sure whether this is true or not. She needs to confirm it before she decides how to act. Neither of us speaks. We just sit on the couch, scrolling our phones. Damn it, everything you said is true. How did you end up this broke, that you had to borrow 10,000 from your brother? Crystal scrolls through social media and suddenly spots the trending topics. They seem to be about me. I take the phone and look. Latest on the Forrest Group inheritance war. Silas Forrest, the family's second son, eliminated early. Breaking news, breaking news. The Forrest Group's second son has been kicked out of the family. Take your guesses. Who wins the Forrest fortune battle in the end? Every single post is like this. Worst of all, my private chat with Julian has been leaked online. The 10,000 transfer, along with my own thank you, stares back at me painfully. I shake my head. My brother is more calculating than I gave him credit for. Is family fortune really worth more than brotherhood? You're really useless. I thought sticking with you meant living the good life. And now you're so broke you're borrowing 10,000 from your own brother. You're pathetic. I wasted the best years of my life on you. I must have been blind choosing a loser like you. Crystal is furious. People, after all, tend to be practical. Just get to the point. Crystal laughs at that. Fine, the point is that we're breaking up. Breaking up, understand? It's over. Why waste words? Pack your things and go find somewhere else to live. This house is mine, after all. I close my eyes, too tired to even look at her. Why should I be the one to leave? Didn't you say this house was for me? Serves you right for being useless. Any woman with a man this stingy is doomed to bad luck. Crystal storms into the bedroom, furious, and starts packing her bags. The bedroom fills with the sound of things being thrown around, but I can't be bothered to go in. Soon, Crystal wheels out 2 large suitcases. Just then her phone rings. Hey, sweetheart. You're here already? Okay, I'll be right down. What rotten luck. Crystal hangs up, shoots me one last glare, and walks out the door. I open my college classmate group chat and scroll through message after message. My heart sinks. But at least there's one thing to be grateful for. My old roommates are still doing their best, right there in the group, to stand up for me. I smile and open our dorm group chat instead. Guys, I really did go bankrupt. No point arguing about it. With those class group snobs, it's a waste of time. Mike, you're really bankrupt? Not kidding? So what are you gonna do now? Ryan. Right, do you have somewhere to stay? If not, come work at my company. Pay's not huge, but room and board are covered. And if you save a bit each month, you'll come out ahead. I smile, touched. 4 years of college, 4 roommates, 3 of us always close as brothers. The last one is Leo. Leo's family was poor, and we attended a private university, where tuition and living costs were outrageous. So whenever Leo had free time, he'd go out and work part-time jobs to support himself, which meant he rarely had time in the dorm. One time, I happened to take a date out to a restaurant and found Leo working there as a waiter. That's how I learned about his family situation. After that, whenever I bought food or clothes, I'd buy an extra set and just say I ordered wrong by mistake. All through college, Leo's clothes and gear were mostly things I bought for him. I've got a place. I'm working on a project right now, Leo says. It needs funding, and I don't have much cash on hand, but I'll send you what I can over WeChat. Get through this rough patch first. Once things turn around, you can really show those snobs a thing or two. Mike, I'm sending some too. Don't mind that it's not much, brother. It's all I've got right now. Reading Mike and Ryan's messages, my eyes sting. I see in the chat that both Ryan and Mike have pending transfers waiting. I open them. 60,000 from one, 40,000 from the other. Just as I turn to thank them, Leo sends a voice message. I tap to listen. It's loud and noisy on his end, but the gist is he'll call me back later. Right after the message, another transfer comes through. I check it. Wow, 900,000. That's every dime Leo has to his name. Lucky for him, he made some money after graduation starting his own business. Otherwise, he'd just be watching helplessly. Don't be afraid. We're all behind you. This time, I can't hold it back any longer. Tears fall, one after another, onto the phone screen. I accept every single transfer. As a man, sometimes when the feeling is real, there's no need for extra words. Altogether, it comes to exactly 1 million, plus my own 10,000, 1,010,000 in total. That's nowhere near enough to short crude oil. But since the fate die said Meridia stock market would trip a circuit breaker, this has to be a massive move. I run the numbers. With this little cash, I won't make much. Mortgaging this house won't work either. But if I sell it outright, factoring in depreciation, I figure I originally bought it for just under 10 million, but now I could probably only get around 6 million for it, which brings me to 700 total. Still not quite enough. Over the mountains, over the seas, there's a village of Smurfs. I pick up my phone and check. It's Willow calling. Willow is my college classmate, a wealthy young heiress. Back then I was the campus heartthrob, generous and loyal, so Willow always had a bit of a soft spot for me. But back then I was as dense as a block of wood, and never noticed. Crystal beat her to it and won me over first. How much do you need? Just give me a number and your account details. Willow's usual icy tone catches me off guard. So this is what a domineering CEO sounds like. Did you strike it rich? Skip the small talk. You know exactly what my family does. By the way, I just got back to Cloud City the other day. When you have time, let's grab a meal. Send over your account number. Right now, all I want is to pull together as much money as possible and swing for the fences just once. If this insider tip turns out to be true, there's no question. I'm about to make a fortune. If it turns out false, none of this money amounts to much anyway. Once the inheritance battle wraps up, I'll have my own allowance and can easily pay everyone back. I quickly send my account number to Willow. Moments later, a bank text catches me off guard. Account ending in 8888 has just received a transfer of 6 million. Current balance $6,048. 6 million! My eyes go wide. Doing the math, I now have 7 million, plus roughly 6 million from selling the house. That's 13 million, still not enough. I dial Grace. The phone rings for a while before she picks up. What do you want, you spendthrift? I need money. No. Grace shuts me down with one word, cutting off every avenue. You're my mother. If I'm not doing well, do you really think you'll be doing well either? I've got a great opportunity right now. Whatever you can lend me, send it over fast. If this ends up losing, I'll hand over my entire annual allowance from the Forrest family. All of it, straight to you. I just need the money urgently, right now. There's silence on the other end. Grace is clearly thinking it over. Account number. With those 2 words, she hangs up. Moments after I send it, a 6 million transfer lands in my account. A little while later, a 7 million transfer comes through as well. That's every last cent I have. Whatever you do, don't let your father find out. Or I'm in trouble too. Grace's text message reads. I reply with an okay 26 million in total. It's not like I'm new to international futures. I lost a fair amount before and eventually gave it up. I remember my account still supports margin leverage. If everything really plays out the way the fate die predicted, then with 50 times leverage, I could push my total buying power up to 1.3 billion. Damn. If I go all in short at around $55 and cash out once oil drops into negative territory, I quickly grab a calculator. Holy hell, 1,600,000,000. This is going to launch me sky high. I immediately call a real estate agent, telling them to sell my house within 2 days. At the same time, I reach out to my broker to sort out the margin leverage details. With everything set, I lie down on my bed, thoroughly satisfied, and drift off to sleep. The next morning, I stretch and yawn, and spring out of bed. After washing up, I call a housekeeping service to send someone over to clean the house and help pack my belongings. I head to the agency, and after some negotiation, the house sells for 7 million. Once the deal is done, I don't linger and head out. Right now, I have a total of 27 million at my disposal. I set aside 1 million as a reserve, then hail a cab straight to Cloud City's largest brokerage firm, into the very important person room, We negotiate for a long stretch. It takes 2.5 hours to finalize everything. Everything goes smoothly, and it's just about lunchtime. I still have that reserve million on hand, so there's no need to pinch pennies. Willow suddenly crosses my mind, and almost on impulse, I dial her number. Hey, come out and grab a meal. Hearing my invitation, Willow pauses for a moment. Send me the location, I'll come over. I think it over and send her the address of the finest Western restaurant in Cloud City. After all, Willow's contribution made this whole gamble possible, so I can't be stingy about it. Stepping out of the taxi, the doorman comes forward to greet me. But out of the corner of my eye, I spot in the parking lot a very familiar white Maserati parked there. Small world, isn't it? But so what if we run into each other? In just a few days, once I've made my mark, who knows who'll end up regretting things. With that thought, I walk into the restaurant. The moment I step in, I spot her right away, fork and knife in hand, eating a steak, Crystal, seated across from a heavy-set man. No need to guess, this has to be Tyler. I let out a cold scoff and follow the waiter to my reserved table. Unfortunately, my table is right next to theirs. Excuse me, could I get a different table? I'm picking up a certain smell coming from someone nearby, and it's putting me off my appetite. Hearing this, Crystal and Tyler both look up at once toward my table, setting down their forks and knives. Crystal breaks into a smirk. Well, look who it is. I thought it was somebody important. It's just the Forest Group's infamous bankrupt heir. So did you manage to scrape together enough to afford this meal? A meal here costs way more than 10,000. Right at that moment, Willow arrives, dressed in a white gown. Sweetheart, do you know the saying, even a starved camel is bigger than a horse? Haven't you seen today's headlines? Even doing nothing at all, the Forest Group still gives him 10 million a year. Willow, in her flowing white gown, wears an elegance that perfectly frames her graceful figure. She glides over to my side and slips her arm through mine, a faint smile on her lips. The waiter standing nearby is already stunned. This is the restaurant's own owner, and she's always been that untouchable, ice-cold beauty. He's never once seen her act this close with any man. Miss Sinclair, good evening, the waiter stammers out a greeting. Willow waves her hand. Bring out one of your finest bottles of red wine, handle the rest as you see fit. The waiter agrees and hurries off. The mood here is off, and Tyler isn't stupid. He can sense his own composure slipping. Sure, he runs his own business too, but it's small scale. Even in his best year, profits topped out around $1 million. He's simply no match for someone like Willow. Crystal stares at the woman before her, a knot forming in her chest. She can't understand why a bankrupt heir still holds this kind of charm, enough for a stunning woman to stand by his side. Oh, so our little heir here, even after going bankrupt, still knows how to work his charm. Before you burned through your family's fortune, and now you found someone new to keep you. Crystal breaks into a wide grin, dripping with contempt. Me keep him? Willow covers her mouth, laughing. Do you know the saying, even a starved camel is bigger than a horse? Old Mr. Forrest already announced it. Silas gets 10 million a year in allowance. 10 million? How many years would it take you to earn that? I glance back at Willow, full of admiration. Oh, Willow, don't even bother. 10 million is nothing. After all, Mr. Zhang here makes several 100,000 a year. Comparing ourselves to him would just be embarrassing ourselves. I say this dryly, sitting down to eat. Let's not spoil the mood. Wait, you still get 10 million a year in allowance? Why didn't you tell me sooner? You even sold my house over this? A flicker of regret crosses Crystal's mind. Those news articles all claimed I'd been kicked out of the family. Who knew the annual allowance was still this massive? I don't bother responding. Beside her, Tyler has already lowered his head in defeat. A waiter brings over a bottle of red wine, followed by a small procession of staff carrying dish after dish. Crystal arrived long before us, but her food still hasn't fully arrived. What kind of restaurant is this? We got here first, and our order's still incomplete while they get all this. Are you looking down on us or something? Willow waves a hand dismissively. Go on, I'm covering this table's bill. Add more food for them, make sure they're well fed. Next time, tell the doorman, if he sees this woman again, don't let her in. We're not doing her business anymore. Willow takes a slow sip of the vintage red wine. Because she's ruining my mood. Even after all that, Crystal still wants to keep firing back, but Tyler beside her can't take any more humiliation and quickly drags her out of the restaurant. That's Willow, her fortune's already in the hundreds of millions, picking a fight with her. You think you'd win against someone like that? Do you know how much Sinclair Capital is worth? Do you even have a clue? This whole restaurant belongs to her family. Crystal's eyes go wide. Once they're gone, the restaurant feels calmer, and even the air seems to shift, growing a little tense with unspoken feelings. Willow and I haven't seen each other in quite a while, and for a moment, neither of us knows what to say. So, can you tell me what you needed the money for, and why did that woman just say you sold your house? So where are you even staying now? Willow finally can't hold back and breaks the awkward silence. I pick up a napkin and wipe my mouth. I'm planning to short crude oil futures in a few days. I've pulled together about 20 million so far. I let out a small chuckle. If this works out, you can start calling me boss. And if it doesn't, well, you can just keep calling me Silas, though the money you sent me, I'll have to pay you back slowly, or how about this, I offer myself instead. I'm joking, but hearing this, Willow feels, for one fleeting moment, almost hoping this trade fails, because then, Offering himself might actually be something she'd enjoy. What are you even saying? Willow's face flushes red. Who said I wanted you to offer yourself? But you're putting all this money into shorting crude oil. Aren't you afraid of losing it? Willow does know something about futures trading. Most traders enter these positions to hedge risk, but for someone like me with no physical commodity to hedge, a wrong bet means getting wiped out entirely. I smile. I'm already at rock bottom. What's there left to be afraid of? My gut's usually pretty reliable. I want to give it one shot. Worst case, I lose it all and go work a factory job. I'll pay everyone back slowly. I let out a sigh. Honestly, I never wanted to fight my brothers for the inheritance. Truth be told, I always figured 600 million was more than enough for my mom and me to live comfortably for the rest of our lives. I never understood what there was to fight over. Willow moves closer to me and sits down. I believe in you. Go for it boldly. If you lose, you lose. It wouldn't be hard for me to support you, you know. Of course I'd take care of your mother too, and any kids we have could take your last name. With that, Willow's face turns crimson. Back in college, I had such a great chance, and someone else swept you away. This time, no matter what, I'm going to be brave. Before she can finish, I gently press my hand over her mouth. Thank you, but it shouldn't be you who has to make the first move. Just wait. Give me a few days, and I'll be the one to confess to you. The two of us just sit there quietly, close together. Willow wishes more than anything that time could freeze right here. If it were possible, she'd want this moment to last forever. Since the house is already sold and my belongings are all packed up, I book a suite for a full month at Cloud City's finest hotel. Only a few hours remain until the date the fate die predicted. I get my laptop ready, along with a stockpile of food and drinks, prepared to camp out in this room until the whole event plays out. The predicted date arrives. Once international crude oil markets open, prices hover around $56 a barrel. A small dip pushes it below 56, down to 55. I seize the moment, going all in short with my full 26 million. Boosted by 50 times leverage, 1.3 billion in total buying power in my account. If oil actually crashes into negative territory this time, I'm going to launch into the stratosphere. Even if it doesn't go negative, just dropping to $1 would still be a massive win. Sure enough, Meridia's stock market opens too, crawling along sluggishly at first, before suddenly plunging downward. The drop happens so fast I barely have time to react. I don't get greedy. Even though it might go negative, actually settling at that price could cause complications. I think it over and set my take profit at a safer level. Sure enough, Meridia's market opens, crawls along for a bit, then plummets straight down, no pullback in sight. At this point, I quickly switch over to check my crude oil position. Holy hell, this is brutal. I opened at 55.9 and oil's already dropped into the 40s. My unrealized profits show a string of digits a mile long. I grin from ear to ear. Looks like the fate die really didn't lie to me. Sure enough, the crash isn't over yet. Meridia's stock market trips a full circuit breaker, and crude oil prices spiral even further out of control, plunging downward at breakneck speed. My position isn't small, but the global crude oil futures market is massive enough to absorb it. Damn. Meridia's stock market actually triggered a circuit breaker. In the time it took me to grab a glass of water, I come back to find this absolutely gorgeous sight on my screen. This feels incredible. Over the mountains, over the seas, there's a village of Smurfs. I pick up my phone. It's my broker calling. Mr. Forrest. No, boss. You need to check your account right now, quick. Manager Chandler says, voice urgent. Today's Black Swan event has caught everyone completely off guard. Anyone who went long on crude oil today is getting wiped out. But you, Silas, are about to skyrocket. Silas hears this and immediately hangs up, pulling open his own account to check. Damn, would you look at that? The system already auto-closed the position. Silas checks his account. He now has roughly $2.5 billion total. Subtracting the original $1.3 billion in capital, that means he's hit his target, a profit of roughly $1.6 billion. Ding. The Fate Dies fee assessment system activates. Total capital deployed, $1.3 billion. A 4% service fee is due, amounting to $52 million. Player, please allocate this $52 million to charity within 4 days. Any method is acceptable, or the Fate Die will automatically confiscate the player's assets. Silas snaps out of his shock and calms himself. Between his original $23 million and the system's 4% fee, the total comes to under $100 million. Add the broker's fees on top, and this whole play should net him a solid $1 billion or so. Nice, my friend. Silas pulls out the Fate Die, grinning ear to ear. Over the mountains, over the seas, there's a village of Smurfs. Silas picks up his ringing phone. It's Willow. Looks like she's been watching the markets too today. Oh my god, how much did you make on this? That was incredible. You must have cleaned out a fortune from foreign investors. Willow sounds thrilled. If this really unfolded the way Silas predicted, there's no doubt he made a killing. After capital and fees, it comes out to roughly $1 billion. Silas's voice carries a note of excitement too. I'm planning to donate $52 million to support an impoverished region here in Solmara, and I'll also set aside $100 million to establish the Silas Foundation, dedicated to helping struggling children in mountain villages get an education. Hearing that Silas made this much money, Willow's jaw drops in astonishment, and for a long moment she can't respond. What thrills her most is that not only did Silas strike it rich, but he still has such a kind heart, willing to give so much away to charity all at once. It's practically perfect. That's great, Willow. Do you happen to know anyone skilled in finance? I want someone to help me manage the foundation. Willow thinks it over. Sure, when do you need her? I can introduce you to a close friend of mine. She recently graduated from a top finance program abroad. She's extremely capable. Great, thanks for helping with this. Right now I need to pick a region in need of support. Willow hangs up. Given how much Silas has managed to earn, she figures he must have his own plans in motion and things are about to get busy for him. Silas opens up a map of Solmara. 52 million sounds like a lot, but when it comes to actually helping one region, it's really not that much. Silas thinks it over for a while. Since he has the fate die to give him a heads up on future events, chances like this are bound to come again. So there's no rush. He decides to start by helping build up Cloud City. Silas looks up the official phone number for Spirit Mountain County and reaches out to let them know about his upcoming donation. The officials naturally are thrilled, and they set a time to meet, full of enthusiasm. Silas has the brokerage return all his margin fees, and also gives manager Chandler a $50,000 bonus. He doesn't overdo it. He knows the manager's own commission on this deal is already substantial. Next, he sends money to each of his 3 roommates, paying back double what they'd lent him. As for Willow, since Silas doesn't have her account number, he doesn't rush to repay her right away. They'll be seeing plenty of each other going forward, so this amount is nothing to worry about. Silas thinks for a moment, then pulls out his phone and sends Julian 100,000. Thanks, little brother. My profits from this crude oil short probably outpace your company's earnings several dozen times over. With that, Silas sends over a screenshot of his account balance, then immediately blocks and deletes him. After all, someone who doesn't value brotherhood isn't worth bothering with any further. With everything sorted, Silas lies back on his bed, staring at the ceiling. Did he just stumble into pure dumb luck? Out of nowhere, he'd landed a treasure beyond imagination. Sure, he'd run his own company into the ground, but this stroke of genius, he's confident, will go down in history. Silas powers off his phone. He can't be bothered to think about what kind of face Julian will make once he learns how much money he's made, and his 3 roommates are probably going to be equally floored. He drifts off to sleep. After all, monitoring the trade all day had kept his entire body wound tight with tension. He's utterly exhausted. Congratulations, player. You have qualified for the billionaire program. We hope you will use this windfall for good purposes, helping and changing the lives of those in poverty. These words echo through his dreams, and would later become the guiding motto for Silas as he grew into Solmara's greatest philanthropist. At First Tech Corporation, Julian's face darkens as he stares at the $100,000 Silas sent, along with the account screenshot. Just as he's about to mock its authenticity, he notices. All that's left is a red exclamation mark. So he's actually been blocked. Julian grits his teeth. He's been running his company for almost a year, and his profits barely scratch 10 million, which is still supposedly the best performing company among the 4 brothers. Julian pulls out his phone and calls Derek. Derek, did you know Silas made 1.1 billion shorting crude oil futures? Julian gets straight to the point. What are you talking about? You think that idiot could pull that off? And even setting that aside, where would he even get the capital? Derek says lazily, not taking Silas seriously at all. After all, to him, Silas is nothing but a dog without a home now. But Derek, I saw his account screenshot myself, and he blocked me right after. Maybe you should try messaging him to check? Julian sounds worried. It's not that he minds anyone not making money, but he can't stand seeing others succeed. Every time someone else profits, it stings. Enough, don't overthink this. The 2 of us just need to secure the Forest Group between ourselves. Once we have controlling interest, we can do whatever we want. With that, Derek hangs up. Meridia's stock market circuit breaker, combined with crude oil prices crashing into negative territory, becomes the biggest economic headline of the day. Every major media outlet is aggressively publishing their takes on the event, with online influencers playing armchair experts after the fact, while comment sections overflow with misery. How the hell did I end up owing the bank tens of thousands after trading futures? I'm done. Give me my money back. Everything I buy just crashes. I'm out. Got my delivery scooter ready, going back to gig work any minute now. Everyone's talking about it. Plenty of Solmara's investors lost money too, but everyone's got a sense of humor. Even though they lost money, the comment section turns into a comedy showdown. Right at that moment, one headline sets the whole thread on fire. Mystery trader shorted crude oil yesterday, pocketing a staggering 1,600 million. No way, this has to be fake. Definitely fake. Just clickbait to keep us gambling. The replies below fill with groans of disbelief. The original poster doesn't respond right away, but instead posts Silas's account screenshot. See, genuine legends do exist. After that, the poster vanishes without another word. The comments explode further. This has to be photoshopped. Who could possibly pull this off? Right, they're just trying to trick us into playing more. Look at this entry point, 55.9. No ordinary trader lands an entry that precise. The comment section stays lit, while the person in question remains completely oblivious, still wanting to sleep a little longer. Ring, ring. The hotel phone rings. Silas, still bleary-eyed, wakes up and picks up the receiver. "Good morning, Mr. Forrest. This is your requested wake-up call. Thanks." As Silas listens to the sweet voice on the other end of the line, his drowsiness vanishes instantly. He grabs his phone. Damn. Silas stares at the endless stream of incoming messages. After what felt like just one night's sleep, he's somehow got dozens of missed calls. His 3 roommates, Willow, manager Chandler, and a whole crowd of others. He opens his messaging app. Wow, 99 plus unread messages, especially in manager Chandler's thread, which has over 20 messages alone. Silas opens it and reads through. The gist is that the brokerage, trying to drum up publicity, already published his trading profits, though for now only the profit figures are public, not his identity, so it shouldn't affect him much. Silas texts back, "No worries." His dorm group chat has plenty of messages too. Silas skims through them quickly, nothing too pressing. Next up are a dozen or so messages from Willow, packed with all kinds of emojis. Silas scratches his head sheepishly. "Willow, watching the market all day just wore me out completely. Once it was over, I shut my phone off and passed out." Silas keeps scrolling, not expecting that his youngest brother would reach out too, asking, "Silas, did you really make 1.1 billion? Silas smiles to himself. Julian must have sent him to fish for information. "It's true, actually, though you undersold it by 600 million. After sending that, Silas decides to head out and pick up a new car, since he's decided to head to Spirit Mountain County tomorrow to deliver his charitable donation. Over the mountains, over the seas, there's a village of Smurfs. Silas picks up his ringing phone. It's Willow. "What's the matter? Are you a pig or something? Sleeping that much?" Willow says, voice thick with mock resentment. Sorry about that. I was genuinely exhausted. "Oh, by the way, send me your account number. I'll transfer the money back." "No rush on that. What's your plan going forward?" Silas thinks it over. "I'm planning to head to Spirit Mountain County tomorrow to deliver the donation, and I should pick up a car too, come to think of it." Willow perks up. "How much are you donating to Spirit Mountain?" "As for the car, I can help you with that if you're buying. Whatever you want, I'll take you there. I can get you a discount too." Ha, sure. Let me get ready. I'll swing by and pick you up in 30 minutes. With that, Willow hangs up. Moments later, Silas receives her account number. How much to repay her is a real question. After all, she'd sent 6 million without hesitation, no questions asked. And Willow doesn't exactly need the money back. Silas mulls it over for a while, and ultimately decides to send back exactly 6 million. Once he's finished his business in Spirit Mountain County, he'll come back and pick out something truly special for her as a gift. Before long, Willow arrives at the hotel where Silas is staying. The two of them drive over to Cloud City's largest luxury car dealership complex. Every kind of luxury car brand has a showroom here. "If you're not in a hurry, we can take our time picking." Silas nods. But small world strikes again. The two of them walk into the Mercedes showroom, and Silas's sharp eyes immediately catch sight of Crystal, dressed in a sharp business suit, standing near the entrance. "Forget it, let's go somewhere else. Why do we keep running into bad luck no matter where we go?" Silas stops abruptly, taking hold of Willow's hand. "No need to be afraid. You came here to pick a car. Why let an ex-girlfriend ruin your mood? We're already here, might as well take a look. Wasn't it always your favorite car, that G-Wagon?" Without waiting for his response, Willow pulls Silas along right into the showroom. "Oh look, our little gigolo landed himself a rich sugar mama. Big difference now, isn't it? Guess he can afford a car after all." At the sight of them, Crystal's teeth clench in frustration. Given how petty she's being, there's no way she'd speak to either of them civilly. But the two of them treat her like she isn't even there, walking right past her into the showroom floor. "Do you have any G-Wagons in stock?" Willow asks, commanding as ever. The moment she hears that, Crystal scrambles eagerly over. After all, the G-Wagon runs over $1 million and requires a markup on top, making it the highest commission model in the store. "Yes, we do." Crystal's expression flips instantly as she steps forward. Silas doesn't seem to mind either way, but Willow's brow furrows slightly. "Is anyone actually working here? Can't you see customers have arrived?" Willow calls out toward the cluster of sales staff, catching everyone off guard, since whoever happens to be on duty when a customer walks in is normally the one to handle them, and it's not currently Crystal's assigned shift. But it's clear this customer has no intention of buying through Crystal at all. Noticing this, a man jogs over quickly. "Hello there, I'm Victor Sterling, the sales manager here. How can I help you today? Do you have any G-Wagons in stock? I want one I can drive off the lot today. And keep that woman away from me. Seeing her kills my mood to shop entirely." Willow points a finger toward Crystal off to the side. Victor, though unsure of exactly what's going on between them, knows one thing. The customer is always right, and one willing to spend big on a G-Wagon at that. Who wouldn't love a customer like that? Victor waves Crystal off. "Is this how you treat customers? Get back to the break room. I'll deal with you later." His expression shifts instantly into a warm smile as he turns back to Willow. "We do have one fully loaded black G-Wagon you could drive off today, but given that you two clearly aren't short on money, I'm sure you already know this model's in high demand and requires a markup." Silas waves a hand. "Let's go take a look." Crystal storms furiously into the break room, fuming. So he found himself a rich sugar mama. Big deal. A gigolo still a gigolo no matter how you spin it. Her coworkers crowd around, curious. After all, If this sale actually goes through, the commission would be substantial. That guy's just some gigolo. Didn't you see the news the other day? He's the Forest Group's second son, the one kicked out of the family. He had to borrow 10,000 from his own brother. Can you believe it? Crystal tears into Silas without mercy, though technically it's not even slander, since everything she's saying happens to be true. Everyone's gossip instincts light up instantly, and the whole room starts buzzing with chatter. Meanwhile, the three of them arrive at the display vehicle. Silas climbs in for a test sit. Not bad, still that same familiar feeling. His previous car had been a Mercedes G-Wagon too, though it had been registered under the Forest Group. After his company went bankrupt, he never even bothered checking on it again, just left it behind entirely. This is the one, work out the price and come find me. Oh, and I need a sedan too, a Maybach or an S-Class. Either one works. Silas turns to Victor as he says this. Yes, actually, we happen to have, just yesterday, a brand new Maybach S450 arrived at the dealership. Let me take you over to see it. Victor beams with delight. No need to look, just tell me. Can I drive it away today? If both cars can be delivered today, work out the total price and find me. I want to drive off with both right now. Of course. Sir, ma'am, please take a seat and relax for a moment. I'll go work out the pricing right away. Victor rushes off eagerly to the finance office. Both cars are top-tier luxury vehicles, both requiring markups, and together the total comes to $4,130,000. Victor returns with the invoice. Sir, the total for both vehicles comes to $4,130,000. I went ahead and secured a special discount from the company for you. We can round down the extra amount, and I'll also throw in complimentary accessories as well as protective car covers and other add-on services. Victor lays it all out, eyes practically sparkling with excitement. If this deal closes, his commission alone would be tens of thousands. This month, he'll finally be able to treat himself to a night out at karaoke. Just charge the card. Also, have 2 of your staff drive the cars over to the Cloud Inn Hotel. Leave the keys at the front desk under the name Silas Forest. Got it. Victor takes the card Silas hands over, wow, ending in 88882, and hurries off to the finance office to process it. The moment the payment goes through, the finance clerk's eyes widen enormously. Whoa, Victor, am I seeing things? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Damn, is this guy? Could this guy actually be some long-lost relative of mine? There's over $1 billion in this account. The clerk stares in disbelief. Never once has he seen anyone with this much money in a single account. Hearing this, Victor leans in to check for himself. Good grief, a whole string of zeros. What kind of legend is this guy? No wonder he never even bothered haggling over the price. Watching Victor walk off with Silas's bank card toward the finance office, Crystal steps out of the break room immediately. If it had been Willow paying, Crystal might have held back from mocking them. Willow's clearly wealthy after all. But Silas's financial situation is something Crystal figures she knows all too well. It's barely 10,000, and his card was frozen anyway. There's no way he can cover 4 million. Crystal approaches Silas, her tone dripping with sarcasm. Oh please, don't try to put on airs you can't afford. You'll just end up having to sell the car later. Miss, don't be fooled by the gigolo act. Let me tell you, he's incredibly stingy. Crystal keeps chattering away, but neither of them pays her any attention. Wow, who knew? You must have hurt this girl pretty badly, huh, rich boy? She just can't stop wherever she goes, Willow teases. Ignore her. Let's go grab a meal in a bit. Have you decided where to eat? It's on me. Willow nods. Oh, playing generous now? Can you even scrape together 20,000 from your pockets? Playing rich when you can barely afford anything. Right at that moment, a sharp slap echoes through the showroom. Victor comes rushing over, payment receipt in hand, just in time to catch Crystal running her mouth at his newfound cash cow. What on earth are you saying? This is our most valued VIP customer. He's got over $1 billion in his account, and you're saying he can't afford a meal? The moment these words land, the whole showroom falls dead silent. Crystal is left utterly stunned, as if slapped by the words alone. No, wait, over $1 billion in his account? What kind of nonsense is that? There's no way. How could a broke loser like him possibly have that much money? Do you have any idea? Just a few days ago he was so broke all he had left was $10,000, and he had to beg his own brother for it. Crystal shouts, unable to accept this outcome. At this point, Victor genuinely feels the urge to strangle Crystal. This is way beyond acceptable behavior. Is there some kind of blood feud between these two? This is completely uncalled for. Open your eyes and look for yourself, see if it's really that much. Victor slaps the invoice directly against Crystal's face. Crystal grabs it and looks, well, would you look at that 4-8 ending? She knows this card all too well. It's Silas's account. Back when the two of them were still together, this exact card was personally delivered by a bank manager. For a while, Silas had been quite fond of using it, depositing several million into it, letting Crystal spend freely with it. This is impossible, absolutely impossible. Even if this money is real, there's no way it belongs to that gigolo. How could a bankrupt heir possibly have this much money? It must have come from that woman. Crystal is still refusing to accept it. Hearing this, Willow bursts out laughing. Sweetheart, you're overestimating me. If it were a few million, sure, that's pocket change to me. But $1 billion? How many people in all of Solmara could pull that off without breaking a sweat? Let me tell you something. Silas earned every cent of this after you two broke up. Regretting it now? Willow twists the knife deep. Neither she nor Silas has any warmth left for Crystal anymore. The only reason Silas hasn't bothered settling scores properly is out of consideration for what they once had. Crystal stands frozen, eyes hollow with shock. How could this be? How could this be? She suddenly rises and rushes to Silas's side, gripping his hand tightly. Baby, I know deep down you still love me, don't you? You came here to buy a car because you knew I work here, trying to help me hit my sales target, right? It's fine, you don't even need to say it, I'll say it. Let's get back together, okay? Crystal has completely lost her earlier hostility. After all, the weight of $1 billion is simply too overwhelming to resist. Silas glances at Willow, a helpless smile tugging at his lips. Get back to work. Stop dreaming. He turns to Victor. Remember what I asked. Park both cars at the hotel garage. We'll be needing them again this afternoon after lunch. Oh, and make sure to fill the tanks. Willow, hand Victor some cash to cover gas. Willow reaches casually into her limited edition Gucci handbag, pulling out roughly $4,000 to $5,000 in cash and placing it in Victor's hands. Regular unleaded, remember? With that, Silas takes Willow's hand and walks out of the showroom, leaving Crystal drowning in regret behind them, Victor buzzing with excitement, and the other sales staff nearby thoroughly enjoying the drama. Let's go find somewhere to eat. I want roast duck from that street food stretch near Cloud Sea University. Let's go together. Once outside, Willow loops her arm through Silas's on her own, her voice sweet and playful. Silas nods. Back inside the Mercedes showroom, Victor's face darkens as he stares at Crystal, still standing there in a daze. Explain yourself. What exactly do you think you're doing? The man buys 2 luxury cars outright, doesn't even haggle on the price, and you nearly torpedo the whole deal with your nonsense. This dealership doesn't need decoration, it needs results. Do you understand that? If I hadn't stepped in today, this entire sale would have collapsed. Victor, out of breath with anger, tears into Crystal without holding back. Can you believe it? A man with $1 billion in assets, and she still manages to drive him off? Is Crystal some kind of reincarnated saint? Ha ha ha, I'm dying. She kept insisting the bankrupt heir had no money, and it turns out that after going bankrupt, his net worth actually went up. If that were me, I'd want to smash my head against a wall from sheer regret. The sales staff chatter away eagerly among themselves nearby, but none of it registers with Crystal right now. There's only one thought consuming her mind: winning Silas back. What she doesn't realize, though, is that some things once done can never be undone. Go pack up your things, head to finance and collect this month's pay. Honestly, you've barely worked a few days. By the book, you shouldn't even get paid for it. But I'm feeling generous today, so go collect your pay and get out. I never want to see you in this showroom again. With that, Victor strolls off, humming a tune to himself, leaving behind a chorus of mockery from the staff, and Crystal standing alone, eyes empty. Silas and Willow finish lunch and head back to the hotel. Driving from downtown Cloud City to Spirit Mountain County takes roughly 3 hours, so Silas decides to head out right away. Willow, I'm going to head straight to Spirit Mountain County now. Once I've taken care of everything there, I'll come find you again. Willow nods. She's always been remarkably understanding, and besides, she has her own business to run. Then be careful on the road. Call me once you arrive. Silas smiles warmly, pulling her into a tight embrace. The two of them savor the moment for a while before saying their goodbyes. Silas heads to the front desk and picks up the keys to his Mercedes G-Wagon. For this trip to Spirit Mountain County, Silas still hasn't decided exactly how he'll direct the funds. No matter, he'll figure it out once he gets there. He'll decide based on what he sees. With that thought, Silas gets in the car and sets off. Though he hasn't told the Spirit Mountain County officials that he's leaving ahead of schedule, the meeting they agreed on is set for tomorrow. Over the mountains, over the seas, there's a village of Smurfs. Silas glances at his phone and sees it's Grace calling and picks up. Hey, Mom. Hearing Silas's voice, Grace finally loses her composure completely. Ever since she'd wired money to Silas, life had become genuinely difficult for her because Marcus had explicitly ordered that no one was allowed to help Silas in any way. And of course, checking everyone's financial records was simple enough for Marcus. The very same night Grace transferred the money to Silas, Marcus already knew. So around the house, his treatment of Grace had grown steadily colder, and worse still, just this afternoon, Marcus had actually ordered her to move out of the Forrest household, to go find somewhere else to live. All because Grace had broken the rules he'd set. Sweetheart, where are you? I have nowhere to go. Grace's voice cracks with emotion. After being shut out and pushed aside for so long, she can finally no longer hold it together. Your father kicked me out. And he said he won't be giving you that $10 million a year allowance either. He found out I sent you money. What? Silas glances at his rearview mirror and pulls the car over onto the shoulder, flipping on his hazard lights. Okay, Mom. Pack up your things and book the earliest flight to Cloud City you can find. Let me know the time and I'll have someone go pick you up. As for that $10 million a year allowance, forget it. We don't need it. Your son made $1.1 billion these past few days. Supporting you is no problem at all. Grace freezes in shock. $1.1 billion? Really? You're not messing with me? Book your flight quick. I'm driving right now. Let me find a place to pull over and I'll call you back. With that, Silas hangs up and continues driving. The nearest rest stop is still 30 or 40 kilometers away. Hearing the news, Grace immediately straightens her back. 1.1 billion. What does that even mean? As long as she doesn't blow it all recklessly, that's more than enough for a lifetime. With that thought, Grace wipes her eyes. Push her aside. She wouldn't even bother staying with him now. Grace walks into her room with a smile and starts packing her clothes. Marcus has, in his own way, lived a model life. Officially, he has only one wife, but those who know him well are aware he has two mistresses as well. His main wife bore him two sons. Grace, as his second mistress, gave him Silas. The other mistress died from severe bleeding during childbirth, never leaving the operating table alive. Marcus still holds fairly traditional views, so the whole family lives together in a 6-story mansion, with each household occupying its own floor. Grace joined Marcus's life only after he'd already made his fortune, so unlike his original wife, she never had to endure hardship at his side. Because of this, she's always faced resentment within the family. Back when Marcus was still in good health, this tension stayed mostly beneath the surface. But ever since he announced the inheritance competition among his 4 sons, the hostility has only grown worse. At first, Marcus turned a blind eye to it, but once he learned that Grace had wired money to Silas, that tolerance vanished completely. As a business titan who's ruled the corporate world for decades, Marcus despises nothing more than having his will defied. As Grace packs, tears start slipping down her cheeks. After all, this place holds years of memories for her, but forcing herself to stay any longer serves no purpose. Better to leave with dignity, on her own terms. Ivy, book me a flight to Cloud City, the sooner the better, Grace says gently to the young woman standing behind her. Ma'am, are you really leaving? Ivy asks, her voice catching slightly, since she's served Grace faithfully for many years. Grace nods. This place doesn't want me here anymore. What's the point in staying? Book the tickets. The earlier, the better. Then ma'am, I'll book 2 tickets. Can I come with you? We can sort out the pay later. If you're not here anymore, there's no point in me staying either. Grace nods. After all, Ivy has stayed by her side for many years now, handling every part of her daily life. Without someone by her side, things might not go smoothly. All right, go on then. Ivy is barely left when the bedroom door swings open. Well, if it isn't little sister, packing your bags? What's the matter, can't stand it here anymore? A sharp, biting voice cuts in, making Grace's face darken instantly. It's Diane, Marcus's wife. Hey, your son's finally made something of himself. Is he taking you off to live it up now? I'm not going to fight with you over this place anymore. All these years, no clear winner. I'm exhausted too. Grace has no interest in engaging further with Diane. Diane steps closer, laughing loudly. Ha! Your son made something of himself? How exactly? By blowing through 10 million in under a year? Or was it getting kicked out of the family entirely? You know, after all these years, you're all mouth and no substance. Someday, centuries from now, when archaeologists dig up your remains, they'll probably marvel at how someone dead this long still has such a sharp tongue. Diane covers her mouth, laughing. Grace's face flashes with anger. Oh, my son didn't accomplish much. Just made 1.1 billion in a matter of days, that's all. Though I'm sure a sum like that is nothing but pocket change to you. Grace clears her throat. In all these years, have you ever known me to lie? Keep this place. I don't want it anymore. It's all yours. I'm off to live out my golden years with my son. Grace fires back. 1.1 billion? Diane's expression shifts instantly. 1.1 billion? That good-for-nothing Silas managed to earn that much? Come on, stop putting on airs. If you don't actually want to leave, just beg me and I might let you stay. Go ahead, beg. Diane doesn't believe for a second that Silas could pull off something like this. Grace shakes her head. Keep this whole house to yourself. Right now, I need to pack, so please leave. And by the way, some manners wouldn't hurt. Knocking before barging into someone's room and waiting for permission would be a start. Do you know why Marcus has strayed from you all these years? It's because you're so hopelessly unrefined. Grace sticks her tongue out at Diane as she finishes. The two of them have been feuding like this for years, trading barbs constantly. I'll just wait and watch you end up homeless on the streets with nowhere to go. And when you're kneeling and begging, I won't even give you the time of day. With that, Diane storms off in a fury. Once he reaches the rest stop, Silas calls Grace. Did you get your flight booked? Landing at 9 tonight. Good. I'll message your future daughter-in-law to pick you up. Oh, and send me your account number. I'll wire you some money. Grace hangs up right away, sends over her account number, and hurries down to the main hall, since Diane happens to be sitting on the couch, eating fruit. Ding. Your account ending in 6868 has just received a real-time deposit of 100 million. Current balance, $100,402,000. Grace has deliberately set the transfer alert to speak aloud, and just as deliberately, walks right past Diane to display it. Oh, sweetheart, I got it. But why on earth would you send me this much? I'm not going to be able to spend it all at my age. Grace's face lights up in a grin, while Diane, fork frozen midair, goes pale with fury, flaunting wealth right in her face. Grace doesn't bother reacting further. Her point's already made. Oh, you're still here? Sorry about that. Guess the volume was a bit loud. Anyway, go on, keep eating. I'll be heading out now. Grace stretches lazily, then turns to Ivy behind her. Come on, let's go buy our own mansion. No point living around someone this annoying. It'll only shorten our lives. Diane starts to rise to fire back, but the two of them are already halfway out the door. Willow, my mom's landing at the airport tonight at 9. I don't have time to go. Could you handle picking her up and then take her to my hotel to get her settled in? Silas is on the phone with Willow. Sure, don't worry about it. I'll make sure your mom's well taken care of. Heh, I told my mom her future daughter-in-law would be the one picking her up, so you'd better make a good impression. Hearing that, Willow's face lights up with joy, though she still lets out a playful huff before hanging up. Once he exits the highway, Silas's heart sinks a bit. Thank God he'd bought an SUV. A regular sedan's undercarriage would have fallen apart out here. The road is riddled with potholes like some kind of half-finished construction site. Barely any smooth stretch to speak of. Silas shakes his head at the sight. Tough, this is going to be tough. As the saying goes, if you want to get rich, build the road first. But clearly, Spirit Mountain County's infrastructure is nowhere near where it needs to be. Still, Silas doesn't have the resources right now to single-handedly transform the entire county. Might as well see what the local government has planned. After all, Silas has already been in touch with county officials about his $52 million donation, though as for what it should be used for, he never specified, and made no demands either. Silas drives aimlessly through the town, and while waiting at a light for it to turn green, an out-of-control three-wheeled cart veers sharply, in a bizarre and unpredictable swerve, straight toward a white-haired elderly man. The old man wears a straw hat, leans on a cane, and carries a small basket in his other hand. The cart's driver chases after it, shouting for people nearby to clear out of the way. Thankfully, the cart isn't moving too fast. The people crossing the street nearby all scatter out of its path, but not one of them stops to check on the old man. Being elderly, he can't move quickly, and it's already too late for him to get out of the way. Without intervention, he's certain to be hit. But thankfully, Silas, sitting in his G-Wagon, is first in line at the red light. Without a moment to think, he slams the gas and charges straight toward the runaway cart. His plan is simple. Ram the cart with his own vehicle, knocking it off its trajectory to protect the old man. The cart owner sees the Mercedes barreling toward him and nearly jumps out of his skin, abandoning any concern for his beloved cart on the spot. Silas eases off the speed just before impact. With a loud crash, the Mercedes flips the cart onto its side, all three wheels still spinning uselessly. The old man is safe, though badly shaken. He drops his cane in the shock, his basket tumbling to the ground, scattering lychees across the pavement, before he sinks straight down onto the ground, clutching his chest repeatedly. Silas rushes out of the car to help him up, checking on him. Are you all right, sir? Sweat beads down the old man's forehead. After a moment to catch his breath, he shakes his head. I'm fine, young man, thank you. It's just a shame. This whole basket of fruit I hadn't sold yet. What a waste. The old man stares blankly at the lychees scattered across the ground, starting to reach for them himself. Silas quickly stops him. Just rest for a moment. I'll take care of it. Before long, Silas has gathered up all the scattered fruit. The cart owner, well aware he's at fault, doesn't even dare ask Silas for compensation. If it hadn't been for Silas, his own cart would have struck the old man directly, leaving things far worse. Sir, please get in my car. We can't block traffic here. Silas guides the old man over to his vehicle, opens the door for him, helps him inside, and drives off. Once inside the car, Silas learns that the old man actually lives in a village under Spirit Mountain County's jurisdiction. He's in his 70s, and had come out simply to sell the ripe fruit from his garden, hoping to earn a little cash for snacks for his 6-year-old granddaughter. Except today, he'd made no sales at all, and on top of that, this accident happened. Don't worry about all that, sir. I'll take you home. Just wait in the car for me a moment. I'm going to pick up a few things. Silas parks in front of a supermarket and heads in to pick out snacks for the old man's granddaughter. At his own age, Silas hasn't really eaten snacks in years, but judging by the old man's circumstances, the granddaughter's life probably isn't easy either. So Silas heads straight to the snack aisle, grabbing whatever catches his eye. Before long, the cart he's pushing is completely full of snacks. After checkout, he ends up with 2 enormous bags costing several $100s. He loads the snacks into the trunk, gets back in, pulls up navigation, and heads toward the address the old man gave him. After all, he has nothing else going on today, so he might as well see this good deed through to the end. Driving from the county seat to the old man's village isn't actually that far, but for someone walking on foot, it would take a long time. Thankfully, the old man had walked only half the distance before catching a lucky ride, especially rare for someone his age. A pang of sympathy stirs in Silas. Could this be exactly the reason he'd chosen to do good deeds? The very lesson the fate die had wanted him to grasp? Arriving at the village entrance, the road is riddled with potholes, filled with standing water from a recent rain. Young man, cars can't get into the village on this road, it's too rough. Don't drive in any further, or you'll get stuck and can't get out. That would just make things worse. Hearing this, Silas frowns, worried. Had he known this earlier, he'd have bought fewer snacks. A miscalculation. All right, sir, I'll walk in with you. Silas helps the old man out of the car, gritting his teeth as he hauls the 2 bags of snacks from the trunk, following slowly behind the old man. Why hasn't the road here ever been fixed? Cars can't even drive through here. How's the village supposed to develop like this? Silas asks through gritted teeth, thinking that if the road had been repaired, he wouldn't be lugging these bags so painfully. The old man sighs, shaking his head. We'd love to fix the road too, but there's no money for it. The county government doesn't have the funds, and by the time it trickles down to the town level, there's even less, and by the time it reaches each village there's basically nothing left. Every household in our village grows some kind of fruit, and it's such a shame. Right now is peak harvest season, but of all times it rained heavily just a few days ago. The roads are full of potholes and mud. Walking is hard enough on its own, let alone hauling fruit on foot for hours to sell it in town. This road really needs fixing. Silas suddenly realizes exactly where his 52 million should go. Every household in this village makes a living growing fruit, each with their own orchard, but there's simply no way around the transportation problem. Every year when the fruit ripens, outside traders drive up to the village to buy it, offering prices so low it's almost insulting. But since getting out of the village is such a hassle, no one bothers making the trip themselves, and everyone just grits their teeth and sells at rock-bottom prices. Sir, how about this? Let's leave the snacks for your granddaughter here for now. Could you take me to see the village chief? There's something I'd like to discuss with him. Silas asks sincerely. No problem at all, no problem. Let's pick up the pace, we're almost home. The old man's name is Thatcher. Naming conventions were fairly casual back in his generation. He was the fifth of 6 brothers, which is why he ended up with that name. The village is called Thatcher Village, populated mostly by families sharing the Thatcher name. Arriving at his home, the old man's 6-year-old granddaughter comes bounding out to greet them, though she's clearly a bit shy, ducking behind her grandfather and eyeing Silas cautiously. Say hello to this nice man, sweetheart. He's the one who brought Grandpa home safely today. Otherwise, Grandpa might not have made it back until after dark. Mister? The little girl chirps in her small voice, and hearing it, Silas suddenly feels like the exhaustion from lugging 2 heavy bags of snacks for the past half hour has completely vanished. Silas gently ruffles the little girl's hair. Come get some snacks, all of this is for you, and once you finish these, just tell me if you want more. I'll get you more. Thatcher's house is worn down and dilapidated, a single mud brick building with 1 bedroom and 1 main room. The only part of the whole house without a hole in it is probably the roof, and even Silas can feel a draft leaking in through every wall. Sir, what about your children? Silas asks, curious. At the question, a shadow of sorrow crosses Thatcher's eyes. This little one's mother died from complications during childbirth. My son left to work construction when she was 4 and he lost his footing falling from the 7th floor of a building. He didn't make it either. Silas can tell Thatcher is straining to keep his tone light, recounting his most painful memories as gently as he can manage. Neither of them speaks. Silence settles between them. Sir, I'm so sorry to hear that. Please accept my condolences. Silas rises to his feet and bows deeply to Thatcher. Thatcher quickly pulls him back up. It's all right. It's all in the past. It's just this little one I worry about. If something happens to me someday, who knows what would become of her? In that moment, a thought strikes Silas. Why does the world hold so much suffering? There's a saying that captures it perfectly. Human sorrows and joys don't truly connect from one person to another. Only now does Silas fully grasp what that means. Don't worry, sir, you're still strong and healthy. You've got several more decades in you, no problem. It's all Silas can offer by way of comfort. Thatcher shakes his head, letting out a sigh. Decades is too long. Life's too hard. If it weren't for this little one keeping me company, what would be the point of any of it? Anyway, sit for a moment, young man. I've already called the village chief. He should be here soon. Silas steps outside to take a closer look around. Thatcher's home isn't part of the village's central cluster of houses for whatever reason. Silas doesn't bother guessing why. One thing Thatcher Village has going for it. The scenery is absolutely stunning. And because of the poor transportation and its mountainous location, the air here is remarkably fresh, a crispness you'd never experience in any city. Might as well transform this place into an eco-tourism park, dining, entertainment all in one. Not a bad idea, though he worries 52 million might not be enough. Ah well, if it's not enough, he can always add more. Just as Silas is busy planning out the future of Thatcher Village, a man who looks somewhat aged, but not truly elderly, walks toward him. You must be the young man old man Thatcher mentioned, the one looking for me? Let me introduce myself. I'm the chief of Thatcher Village. I'm Mayor Hensley. Only then does Silas snap back to attention, taking in the chief before him. According to Thatcher, the chief is barely in his 50s, but looking at the man standing here, he certainly doesn't look like it. He carries a worn pair of work shoes, his pant legs rolled up to his knees, mud caked all over the fabric, even smudged across his face. That's right, I asked Mr. Thatcher to reach out to you. I'm Silas Forrest, and there's something I'd like to discuss with you. Silas extends his hand. Oh, better not shake my hand, I just got back from the fields, filthy as anything. Silas, was it? What did you need from me? I want to build a road for your village. You want to what? Hensley's eyes widen, fixed intently on the young man before him. Well now, building a road, that's exactly the thing Hensley has dreamed of accomplishing for years. Every single year he's gone to petition the town office about it, but the county's finances have always been too strained, and the town has never been able to spare enough. Building a road takes serious money. At one point, Hensley considered pooling money from the village itself to get the road fixed, but after bringing in a professional cost estimator, the numbers came back staggering. Building a single kilometer of rural road costs several $100,000, and the distance from Thatcher Village to town is at least 30 kilometers, which means the total cost would run into the tens of millions. That's exactly why the town has never approved the project. The road is simply too expensive to build. This young man in front of him probably hasn't been beaten down by reality yet. Hensley feels a spark of hope, but quickly returns to reality. Tens of millions doesn't seem like a sum this young man could actually come up with. Son, don't joke around with me, just having the thought means a lot already. Do you have any idea how expensive road building is? If we wanted to build a road straight to town, roughly 30 kilometers at several $100,000 per kilometer, this whole project could easily run over 20 or 30 million. Hensley lets out a heavy sigh. I want to build this road too, believe me. I've dreamed about it. Without a decent road, the people of Thatcher Village will never get ahead. Life will just stay stuck, or even get worse. Spirit Mountain County is already a poor county to begin with. There's no money to spare, and whatever trickles down to the villages is basically nothing. Hensley lowers his head. In this man in his 50s, Silas senses a particular kind of helpless anguish. 20 or 30 million, that's it? Not much. I'll cover it. But I have one condition. Hehe, once the road is built, it needs to be named after me. Silas says it with such ease that for a moment, Hensley isn't sure whether he's serious or joking. I'm not messing with you. My finances aren't unlimited, but funding a road for your village is well within reach. By the way, I feel like the scenery around here is really impressive, and it seems like everyone here knows how to grow fruit. Have you thought about what direction to take the village once the road's finished? Silas wants to test Hensley's vision. If he passes this test, he'll consider adding more funding to turn Thatcher Village into a tourist destination, making it a showpiece for the whole county. Only then would his donation truly matter. Wait, are you serious? You're really going to donate a whole road? Hensley's eyes go wide as saucers. Silas smiles faintly, pulling out his phone and opening his mobile banking app. Here, take a look. Originally, I just wanted to make a donation to Spirit Mountain County, but I hadn't decided where exactly. If I hadn't run into Mr. Thatcher on the way here, I never would have found my way to your village, let alone thought of building you a road. Hensley stares at the long string of zeros on the phone screen, a little dazed. Wow, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Mr. Moneybags, you truly are a young man of extraordinary achievement. If we can actually get this road built, I'm planning to organize the villagers to develop toward tourism, since our environment here is remarkably well preserved. Great scenery, clean air, and our specialty is our lychee orchards. The mountain region gets plenty of sunlight year-round, so once the lychees ripen, they turn out incredibly sweet and juicy. Hearing this from Hensley, Silas nods with satisfaction. So it's settled. We can call the road Silas Road, right? Silas grins broadly. Ha! Forget just the road being named after you. You could name the whole village Silas Village and I wouldn't have any objections. I'm sure the rest of the villagers wouldn't mind either. Hensley laughs. Alright then, give me just a moment. I'll go ahead and contact the county officials. With that, Silas steps aside and calls the county secretary. Hey, Secretary Whitmore, it's Silas. I've made up my mind. I'm going to donate a road to Thatcher Village, and I'll also fund the villagers to help turn Thatcher Village into a model tourist village, with the goal of making it a showpiece for the whole county. Silas says happily. On the other end, Secretary Whitmore, upon hearing Thatcher Village, seems genuinely surprised. Mr. Forrest, you mean that terribly underdeveloped Thatcher Village? Yes, exactly that one. At this, Whitmore slaps his own thigh emphatically. Mr. Forrest, you've done a truly wonderful thing. Goodness, Thatcher Village has been held back for years by the lack of a proper road. Its economy has never gotten off the ground. And Thatcher Village has a particularly stubborn chief in Mayor Hensley. Ever since he took over Thatcher Village, at every meeting he's had the chance to attend, he's brought up the same request, asking the government to build a road for Thatcher Village, a road of hope. But the finances have always been tight. There was simply no way to come up with 20 or 30 million all at once for such a massive project, so it kept getting pushed back, year after year, day after day. But now, Mr. Forrest, you've stepped right in and solved this problem, one they've worried about for years without any way to resolve it. Your judgment is truly remarkable, Mr. Forrest. Where are you right now? I'll bring some people over to meet you. Whitmore sounds genuinely urgent. This scale of private donation is unprecedented. I'm at Thatcher Village right now. Then please, Secretary, come over with your team. If possible, I'd like to get everything settled today. I'm quite busy myself with plenty of personal matters to attend to. Of course. Mr. Forrest, please stay put. We'll be there shortly. Whitmore hangs up and hurries out of his office. Move, everyone get to Thatcher Village now. Bring the finance department along too, and get the Clearwater Town officials over there right away. Whitmore scrambles through the arrangements in a flurry, this being the first time in memory someone has been eager to give money away. Turns out doing good deeds can feel this satisfying. No sooner has he returned home than Hensley's phone rings. Hello? Mayor Whitmore, you're coming here? Of course, safe travels, and don't worry, I'll take good care of Mr. Forrest. Hensley hangs up, hiding the faint beads of sweat forming on his forehead surprisingly well. Well, this is the first time the mayor of Clearwater Town has ever called him personally. This young man in front of him clearly has some real skills. It's still early, Chief. Why don't you show me around the village? Silas makes his request, and Hensley readily agrees, happily taking on the role of tour guide. When the villagers originally built their houses, they'd already left space for future roads, but lacking funds, progress had truly stalled. This dirt path, Mr. Forrest, leads to Thatcher Village's elementary school. Behind it there's a large open field. The village has already allotted plots for each household, and everyone's grown lychee trees pretty uniformly. Silas walks and takes in the scenery around him. Thatcher Village really is a beautiful place. With proper planning and some strategic promotion, it could absolutely become a genuinely impressive tourist draw. Chief, take me to see the school. The two of them arrive at Thatcher Village's school. In Silas's eyes, it barely deserves to be called a school, only slightly bigger than Thatcher's own mud brick house. A small clearing, a single lonely basketball hoop, a ping-pong table made of a slab of stone. That's the extent of Thatcher Village's so-called school facilities. Beside the mud brick classroom stands a small adjoining mud brick building, and Silas is curious what it's used for. Hensley scratches his head, a little sheepish. That's where the teachers who volunteer here to teach stay. 2 young female teachers share it. They've been here almost a year now. Silas frowns slightly. Coming out to teach in a place with conditions this harsh, and still managing to stick it out. These are people who truly deserve respect. I noticed the village has some open land. Let's just build a whole new school. Look, the kids have to walk such a long way from the village just to get to school, and the roads aren't great either, especially when it rains and everything floods. Mud everywhere, way too many hazards. I saw a plot of land back in the village. It looked really good. That's the one you mentioned earlier, right there. I'll fund the construction of a new elementary school myself. As the two of them talk, the sound of children reading aloud drifts out from the classroom. The kids haven't let their harsh surroundings keep them from pursuing their education, and their teachers haven't let the difficult conditions stop them from staying for these children. As long as there's hope, anything is bearable. Thank you, Mr. Forrest. Thank you so much. Hensley can no longer hold back. Scalding tears spilling from the eyes of a man well into his 50s, falling one after another. Hensley has long since forgotten the last time he cried. Years, a decade, decades ago. But in this moment, no single emotion can capture what's stirring inside him. You truly are Thatcher Village's benefactor. With that, Hensley drops heavily to his knees before Silas. No, what are you doing? Silas quickly pulls Hensley back up. This is just something I should be doing. No need for that. If you keep this up, you'll be shaving years off my life. Just as the two of them are still talking, a man with sun-darkened skin comes sprinting toward them. Chief, the county head, county officials, the town mayor, everyone's here. They're all at your doorstep right now, waiting for you to come back. The man has never in his life seen officials of this rank. Hensley is thrilled at the news, and the three of them head home together. The chief's house is a small single-story building, though slightly larger, not nearly as run-down as Thatcher's. A group of people in sharp business-like attire stand at the entrance, and Silas doesn't even need to be told. He can tell at a glance that these are government officials, their entire bearing setting them apart from the villagers of Thatcher. You're the village chief, I assume? Then this young man must be Mr. Forrest, a middle-aged man with a sturdy build and a neat, slicked-back haircut, dressed in a suit, strides confidently toward Hensley, his eyes never leaving Silas, sensing somehow he's seen this young man somewhere before. Yes, Secretary Whitmore. I'm Mayor Hensley, chief of Thatcher Village, and this is the gentleman who's offered to donate a road to our village, Mr. Silas Forrest. As Hensley introduces him, Whitmore says, Hello there, Silas. Secretary Whitmore, I'm Silas Forrest. Silas extends his hand, shaking Whitmore's firmly. Let's get straight to business. Once we're finished, I still need to head back to Cloud City. Of course. The group, led by Hensley, makes its way to his home. Since word had reached them ahead of time, Hensley's wife had already made sure the house was spotless. Everyone takes a seat. Secretary Whitmore, since so many of you are here today, I trust you're prepared to move forward. I plan to build a road for Thatcher Village running all the way to Clearwater Town. The cost doesn't matter to me, but the road needs to be built to a high standard. Hearing this, the villagers gathered outside erupt into excited chatter. Goodness, this young man is really that impressive? Wonderful, our lives might finally turn around. Everyone talks over one another, forcing Hensley to feign a stern expression and shut the front door, standing guard himself outside. He can't let the crowd disrupt this important discussion. Quiet down out there. Mr. Forrest isn't just building us a road, he's also funding a brand new school for Thatcher Village. A what? This is what they call a hero rising young. Hearing this, the crowd grows even more excited, prompting Hensley to quickly raise a finger to his lips, urging quiet. Of course, Mr. Forrest, we've actually had an estimate done already. The road should cost around $33 million to complete, Whitmore says with a smile. Silas nods slightly. And there's something else. I've had an idea of my own. I took a quick walk around Thatcher Village today, and I have to say, I'm impressed. Every household here grows lychees, the location's fantastic, so I'd like to invest in turning this place into an ecotourism park, giving the villagers here another avenue to improve their standard of living, so they can build a better life for themselves. Whitmore, hearing this, can hardly contain his excitement. Wonderful. Mr. Forrest, you truly are extraordinary for your age. We've actually been aware of Thatcher Village's situation for a long time, but there was nothing we could do. The finances are genuinely limited, and with so many townships under our jurisdiction, there's no way to allocate all our resources to Thatcher Village alone. The location here is genuinely excellent, and the environment is remarkably well preserved. Following your idea, Mr. Forrest, we could turn Thatcher Village into an eco-park and develop it as a tourist destination, which would make it a real showpiece for Spirit Mountain County. Silas nods along enthusiastically, pleased that it's exactly what he had in mind. Good, then let me lay out my terms. Whitmore listens quietly. After all his years in this line of work, the one truth he understands most clearly is that no one gets up early without some benefit in mind. He believes Silas will indeed fund the road for Thatcher Village and invest in the village's development, but there's bound to be a catch. All right, here's what I'm proposing. Just as Silas begins to speak, a young woman standing behind Whitmore pulls out her notebook, ready to take notes. The road I'm funding for Thatcher Village needs to be named Silas Road, after me. It'll give me a real sense of presence. I also plan to continue doing charitable work from time to time going forward, and I want the name Silas to become a symbol, inspiring others to give back the way I have. Second, regarding the investment in Thatcher Village becoming a tourist village, I'm willing to fund it, with the ultimate goal of turning Thatcher Village into a thriving new tourist destination. But I can't fund this project entirely on my own since my current available cash tops out at $100 million, so I'd like to partner with the government on this. I only ask for 30% of the profit-sharing rights. Whitmore, hearing this, thinks to himself, what kind of condition is that? This is practically a gift. Really? That's all? Whitmore can hardly believe it. Silas nods. I can transfer $100 million today. After deducting the $35 million for the road, the remainder will go entirely toward the tourist village project. Excellent. Excellent. I accept both conditions. And since the key officials from Clearwater Town are here today too, I, Whitmore, will make the call right now. Whatever amount the county can contribute, we will. We're fully committed to making Thatcher Village's transformation a genuine success. This will solve the villagers' everyday hardships, while also serving as excellent publicity for Spirit Mountain County. It's a win for everyone. Rest assured, Mr. Forrest, once these two projects are underway, I'll personally oversee their progress every step of the way. Only then does Silas nod, satisfied. Good, let's do the transfer. Before long, Silas wires the full $100 million into the government's account. There's one slightly awkward wrinkle, though. Since Silas had originally said he was donating $52 million, the officials had already prepared a placard displaying that exact figure, expecting to use it for photos on the spot. Now that Silas has raised the donation to a full $100 million, no one's quite prepared. No worries, no worries. Feel free to publicize the donation, just keep my name out of it. You can use this to build some buzz for Thatcher Village first. Understood, understood. The whole room bursts into laughter. Hey wait, Mr. Forrest, weren't you the one driving today who flipped a three-wheeled cart at an intersection with your Mercedes? A bespectacled man stares at Silas, phone in hand. You already know about that? Silas scratches his head, a little embarrassed. The man practically bursts with excitement. Secretary Whitmore, look, Mr. Forrest's good deed has already gone viral online. Whitmore takes the phone and Silas leans in to look as well. Someone had actually caught the whole moment on camera, him ramming the runaway cart, and had posted it online. This small clip has already racked up over 400,000 likes, and it's only been a few hours since it was posted. The comments are even more entertaining. Serves him right driving a Mercedes. Right, and he didn't even glance back at his own car after getting out. What's wrong with that? Exactly, rich, handsome, and most importantly, kind-hearted. This is literally my dream husband. Back off, this isn't your business, he's mine. Silas can't help but feel a bit embarrassed by all of it. So what do we do, Mr. Forrest? The whole internet's on the hunt for the handsomest Mercedes driver, ha ha ha. I'd actually like to promote this a bit further if you don't mind, Mr. Forrest. On behalf of the county government, I'd like to present you with a Model Citizen Award. Whitmore looks thoroughly pleased. Sure, that works. It's not like I did it for the attention anyway. I wouldn't even be here otherwise. Sure, go ahead and publicize it. I'm happy to go along with it. Whitmore promptly handles all the necessary paperwork. Ding. Congratulations, player. You have exceeded the mission requirements. The fate die has upgraded. The player may now receive 2 pieces of future information at once. Remember, information from the future must never be shared with anyone else. The fate die's voice echoes in Silas's mind, and he smiles faintly to himself, pleased with how things have gone. Once Hensley sees that everything has been finalized, he opens the front door, revealing a crowd of Thatcher Village residents already gathered outside, filling every inch of the small open space in front of his home. Whitmore glances at Silas. Mr. Forrest, why don't you say a few words to everyone? You've made such a tremendous contribution to this village, they should know who you are. Remember your name. Hensley agrees, waving his hand to signal the crowd for quiet. First of all, it was really just a chance encounter that brought me to Thatcher Village. Once I arrived and saw the state things were in, I couldn't just look away. Silas speaks, taking in the honest, weathered faces before him. There's a saying that goes, once you have the means, never forget to help others. One person's happiness can grow into the happiness of an entire community, even more. When I saw the harsh conditions Mr. Thatcher lives under, still walking hours on foot just to sell fruit he'd grown himself in the county seat, all just to buy his granddaughter a few snacks, it moved me deeply. That's why I've decided to donate a rural road to Thatcher Village, and to partner with the local government to help transform the living conditions here as well, so everyone can have better opportunities and a better life. By this point, many of the villagers outside already have tears in their eyes. Facing insufficient funding, they never complained, carrying on with their lives. Facing harsh weather that ruined harvests, they never complained, staying resilient throughout. But now, in this moment, they finally break down. My friends, I've also decided to fund the construction of a new school, financed entirely by me personally. No matter how hard things get, the children shouldn't suffer for it, and the teachers here shouldn't feel unappreciated either. I hope that once Thatcher Village has been transformed, it can become a true showpiece and a badge of pride for Spirit Mountain County, and I hope life here grows more prosperous for everyone. Thank you. With that, Silas bows deeply. Silence falls, and then the first villager slowly kneels down, followed by the second, the third, until eventually everyone is kneeling on the ground. Please get up. Silas is thoroughly flustered by the scene, as are Whitmore and the others, all equally stunned. Please help them up. Silas grows increasingly anxious, only to see Hensley kneel down too. Mr. Forrest, please accept the heartfelt blessings of every villager here in Thatcher Village. Silas covers his eyes, unable to bear the sight. Just as Silas prepares to leave, the villagers have already gathered at the entrance to the village, each holding their arms full, standing quietly to one side. Mr. Forrest, these are some gifts everyone put together for you. Lychees grown right here in our own gardens, along with some local specialties. They're not worth much, but it's a token of everyone's gratitude. Please don't refuse them. Silas has no choice but to pop open his trunk, which fills up in no time. He then opens the back seat as well, which fills just as quickly. Whitmore and the officials receive plenty of local produce too, though clearly nothing compared to the outpouring toward Silas. Mr. Forrest, please come back with us. Tomorrow, regarding your rescue of the elderly man, we'll be holding a press conference, and presenting you with a Model Citizen Award as well. Sure, sounds good. Silas obediently drives along, following the convoy back. Over the mountains, over the seas, there's a village of Smurfs. Silas, my daughter-in-law. No wait, your daughter-in-law. Your girlfriend's already picked me up. On the other end of the line, Grace's voice bursts with excitement. That girl is really something. She's already arranged everything for me. I knew it. You inherited your eye for people from me. She's really wonderful, truly. Silas feels a bit speechless. Clearly, Willow has put real effort into this. All right, get settled in. I'll be back tomorrow once I've wrapped up my business here. Whether you come back or not doesn't matter much. It's fine. Willow's a lovely girl. She's taken me out to explore a bit. I'll let you go. With that, the call cuts off abruptly. Come on, his own biological son can't even compare to a young woman she's only just met. Honestly, Silas sighs, a little exasperated. At the Spirit Mountain County government's press conference, after some discussion the previous evening, Whitmore had managed to convince Silas to see this act of generosity through completely, announcing both matters at the press event. All right, everyone, please settle down. It's about time. I'll be personally hosting today's press conference. I have 2 announcements to make. First, the man behind yesterday's viral video. The one who flipped a cart with his Mercedes to save an elderly man. We've invited him here today. At this, the reporters below erupt with excitement. This has to hit the front page while the story's still hot. This is bound to blow up. And second, Spirit Mountain County received just yesterday the largest private donation in the county's history, $100 million. At this, jaws drop across the room of reporters. What? $100 million and from a private individual? That's insane. Seeing the reporters' reactions, Whitmore continues. And now, let's welcome to the stage the recipient of our Model Citizen Award, the private donor of $100 million, an outstanding young citizen of Spirit Mountain County, Silas Forrest. The room falls completely silent, and Silas walks out from backstage looking bashful, offering a greeting to the officials and reporters gathered below. The press conference doesn't last long. Whitmore's team has already prepared a placard showing the $100 million donation, hands it to Silas for photos, and follows his earlier request precisely, presenting Silas with the Model Citizen Award certificate. This entire trip has been remarkably productive, and Silas is more than satisfied with the outcome. What he doesn't realize, though, is that he's once again become the center of media attention. Bankrupt heir of the Forrest Group donates $100 million. Even a starved camel is bigger than a horse. Exiled bankrupt heir donates $100 million to prove himself. Breaking news: Silas Forrest donates $100 million to an impoverished region. Former bankrupt heir now a Model Citizen Award winner. The story spreads with startling speed. Crystal watches the news feed refresh endlessly, her blood pressure climbing with every headline. $100 million donation, just like that. Could this man really have assets in the billions? The more she thinks about, the more she regrets losing him. What could she possibly do to win Silas back? Billions, that's more than enough. Auntie, look how successful Silas has become. Willow pulls up the news about Silas on her phone, handing it over to Grace. This one donation alone is $100 million. Did Silas really earn that much money? Grace still finds it hard to believe. Willow nods. He shorted international crude oil futures a few days ago and made an incredible amount of money. Everything he told you was true. He's not only skilled at making money, he's kind and responsible too. Willow's cheeks flush faintly as she speaks, a little bashful. So, when are you two planning to get married? I don't have much else to do these days. I'd love a grandchild soon. Grace teases her. Oh, Auntie, it's way too early for that. Why bring that up already? Willow's face turns bright red. You could probably fry a whole dish with that blush. Derek, this guy Silas, he really might have made 1.1 billion. Just look at the news. He donated 100 million to some small poor village near Cloud City. If he didn't actually have the money, there's no way he'd spend that lavishly. Julian, deeply anxious, calls his older brother, rattling this off in a panic. So what if he made money? He already ran his own company into the ground. He's already infuriated the old man half to death, and he's no threat to us anymore. Derek dismisses the concern. And most importantly, Silas's mother has already been thrown out of the family, running off to Cloud City to live with her son. What are you even afraid of? But, before Julian can finish, Derek cuts him off. Just stick to the plan. Make sure the trap is well set for our youngest brother, and we need to speed things up. The old man's health is only getting worse. I don't want to wait any longer. Derek interrupts Julian's response. I understand, Derek. The trap's already been set. We're just waiting for the right moment. Satisfied, Derek hangs up the phone. The Forest Group's four-way inheritance battle is, in reality, a three-way contest. Derek and Julian are full brothers, sharing the same mother and father. Now that Silas has driven his own company into bankruptcy and exited the race early, the only remaining opponent is the youngest brother, Jason, standing alone against the combined strength of two allied brothers. Ever since Silas's company collapsed, Jason has felt his own business steadily deteriorating, revenue shrinking, growth stalled entirely. A full year in, and his profits barely reach a few $100,000. Last place among the three remaining contenders. Without some kind of breakthrough, he's certain to be eliminated. Late that night, after wrapping up all his business, Silas returns to the hotel and does a rough tally. He's earned his mother 100 million, repaid his debts and covered fees at a cost of roughly 50 million, donated 100 million as required by the fate die, and still plans to set aside another 100 million to establish a charitable foundation. Adding it all up, Silas's remaining net worth comes to around 800 million. Not enough. This amount simply isn't sufficient. That his own father would go so far as to throw his own wife out of the house, that's something Silas cannot forgive. He needs to make money. Enough money to surpass the Forest Group entirely. Silas quietly slips back to the hotel without telling anyone, because he's made up his mind. It's time to roll the fate die a second time. He takes out the fate die, studying it carefully. It looks like it's changed somehow, though maybe not. Hard to tell. After a moment's hesitation, Silas rolls the fate die anyway. The die spins faster and faster, stirring up small gusts of wind, and finally, after 2 or 3 minutes, comes to a stop. Silas leans in to look. 4 p.m. Territory Drone Company is currently seeking investment, with a market valuation of 1.2 billion. In 6 years, the company's valuation will reach 80 billion, making it the industry leader. This clearly means he should invest in Territory Drone Company. Silas suddenly recalls that his old tech company had a division that could actually have collaborated well with a drone company, but sadly his company is long gone now. The fate die had said he could receive 2 pieces of information, which means he should be able to roll again. Silas has already made up his mind. He's definitely investing in Territory Drone Company. Since a return of tens of times the initial investment over 6 years is nothing to scoff at. Silas rolls the fate die once more, and this time it reads, 3 days from now, 7 p.m., there will be a jade stone auction in Southport City. Stone number 68 in Exhibition Hall 3 is currently valued at 40 million, but its final worth will reach 1.3 billion, making it the star piece of the entire event. Good lord, 40 million turning into 1.3 billion, and all in just 3 days. Silas quickly jots down every detail. If this BP pays off, his total assets would climb to roughly 2 billion, opening up even more possibilities for what he can achieve. But there's still plenty of time, and Silas realizes he can't keep doing everything under his own name forever. After weighing his options, he decides to establish an investment firm, with the name already picked out, the Silas Investment Group. The trouble is, Silas doesn't know the first thing about running such a company, and he's short on people. Suddenly, a name pops into his mind. Owen Reyes, the very financial director whose career he'd unwittingly torpedoed with his bankrupt company, a graduate of one of Meridia's top universities, an overseas-educated talent and genuinely capable. It was just unfortunate that his very first job landed him with an employer as unreliable as Silas. With that in mind, Silas eagerly picks up his phone, sending Owen a message, only to be met with a big red exclamation mark. Well, would you look at that? The company goes bankrupt and this guy blocks his former boss? He'll teach him a lesson. Silas scrolls through his contacts. If Owen's blocked him on WeChat, he's probably blocked his old work number too, but is that really a problem? Not at all. Thank God for a second SIM card, his absolute favorite feature. Silas uses his everyday personal number to call Owen's number. It rings a few times before being picked up. Hello, who's this? Owen's lazy voice comes through the receiver, which brings a grin to Silas's face. He pitches his voice differently. Is this Owen? This is Emperor Qin. I'll send you $300 over WeChat. Once I've reclaimed my throne, I'll split the entire empire with you. This guy's got quite the temper. Silas calls back a second time. Are you kidding me right now? You claim to be Emperor Qin? Well, I'm the Jade Emperor himself, and I'll have the king of the underworld cross your name right off the ledger of the dead. Owen snaps back furiously. After all, he'd just returned from studying abroad, eager to prove himself, only to end up working for a boss who wanted to do nothing at all, and knew nothing about running a business either, which was already frustrating enough. Then the company went bankrupt, and once new management arrived from headquarters, Owen had hoped he'd finally get a real chance to prove himself, only to watch the new managers dismiss the entire leadership team as their very first move. So there was nothing left for Owen to do but pack up his things, just like Silas had, and head home, hoping for a bit of quiet to reflect on his life, only to end up harassed by low-IQ scammers even then. This time Owen has completely lost it. Right after he finishes ranting, Silas can't hold back his laughter. Wait, that laugh, that voice sounds both strangely familiar and oddly out of place. Wait, could this actually be Silas? Owen sits bolt upright. The company went bankrupt, fine, but why the hell did you block your former boss? Silas teases him, sensing that Owen probably hasn't been doing well either. Owen grits his teeth. Real nice, you don't even know how the company went under, and you have the nerve to ask me about it? But the fact that Silas is reaching out on his own suggests there might be something Silas needs him for, though whether it's good or bad he can't tell yet, so Owen holds his tongue. Oh, if it isn't the boss himself. I could say it was a slip of the thumb, would you believe that? Owen says, a bit sheepishly. A slip of the thumb? Yeah, right, you're young, not exactly shaking with Parkinson's. Silas isn't buying that story at all. Alright, let's cut the small talk. I'm starting a new company, and I want you to come on board and help out. If you're not busy with anything else, come join me. A new company? Owen's eyes go wide, then he shakes his head frantically. No, forget it. Boss, you'd better find someone more qualified. I don't think I'm cut out for this kind of work. Silas lets out a cold chuckle. You're only saying no because you don't know the terms yet. I'm setting up an investment firm with $300 million in registered capital. You'd take on your old role as financial director. Whether we turn a profit isn't the main concern, but I do have one task for you. Help me build the company from the ground up. Annual salary, $6 million, commission separate. Heh, tell me these terms don't tempt you. Silas doesn't believe for a second that he'll say no. Damn. Owen feels his own breath catch in his throat. Boss, are you serious? Are you in Cloud City right now? If so, the usual spot, 10 o'clock. Yes, I'll be there right on time, I promise. Silas hangs up shortly after, and before long, a WeChat message comes through, this time from Owen. In this moment, Silas actually feels genuinely pleased. Turns out, winning a man over just takes a $6 million salary after all. With time still to spare, Silas calls Grace's number. Mom, where are you? I'm back already. At the hotel. Silas figures no matter how busy he gets, he shouldn't forget to check in on his own mother. I'm out having fun right now, don't bother me, go entertain yourself. A busy tone follows immediately after. Silas has no idea what kind of magic Willows worked on his mother, whatever it was. But now even her own son doesn't seem worth her time. Oh well. Owen, meet me at the usual spot, I'll be waiting. With that, Silas tidies himself up quickly and drives over to the Tranquil Mind Tea House. The owner of this tea house is quite the mysterious figure, almost impossible to get any information about. The tea house is fairly spacious, its decor as elegant and understated as its name suggests. Silas has always loved tea, and back in his college days he grew especially fond of this particular place. Owen, on the other hand, doesn't care for tea at all, but there's not much he can do. Whenever there's business to discuss, Silas always insists on meeting here. Every time Silas orders tea, Owen just gets plain hot water, mostly because even the water isn't cheap here, $18 a cup, sold under the pretense of, we don't discuss money, only fate. A pot of Dragonwell tea and a cup of plain hot water, Silas instructs the waitstaff. As a regular here, the staff already know the drill. Silas heads straight to the private room he always uses, pushing the door open without a second thought. But, well, inside, a man and a strikingly attractive woman are leaning close together in a moment of intimacy, when the door suddenly bursts open. The woman lets out a startled shriek. Who are you? You didn't even knock! Thank God we weren't doing anything, you scared me half to death. She whips around to glare at Silas, indignant, sweat already beading on her forehead. The man is somewhat overweight, the kind with a prominent belly, exuding the look of new money. And just as he'd been building up an intimidating atmosphere, this careless kid barging in has completely shattered the mood, forcing him to rack his brain to salvage the evening. The thought alone gives him a headache. Then again, how could Silas have possibly known? If you're planning something intimate or a romantic date, why on earth would you come to a tea house? And not just any tea house, of all places, one with a name as ridiculously wholesome as this one. Sorry about that, man. Silas has no intention of stirring up trouble, mostly because he doesn't know how to fight. I had no idea someone was in here since this is the room I usually reserve. Sorry, really sorry about that. Silas keeps apologizing. You call that an apology, standing all the way over there? Doesn't seem very sincere. The man looks displeased. Where's the staff? Is this the high-end tea house everyone talks about, letting just anyone walk in and throw doors open? Silas steels himself and steps closer. Wait, aren't you that one from the video online? The one they call... What was his name, Silas? The woman, watching him approach, suddenly blurts this out. She quickly pulls out her phone, scrolling through short videos, and the more she looks, the more certain she becomes. You're Silas Forrest? Silas freezes for a second. What's going on? Did he go viral? Tony, this is Silas. Silas Forrest, the one you commented on, the serves him right video with the Mercedes. The man is equally stunned. What an insane coincidence.